Well, hello. Um, so yeah, I was thinking about all the Nazi shit that's like in Denver, like it's straight up like everywhere. And there seems to be a Zionist Nazi relationship. Not that it's a good relationship, but not that it's always bad. But they wear so many different faces. The Zionists. Um, that's hard to tell sometimes. They're good at they have evolved their evil, to be like the worst representation of like every horrible aspect of being an intelligent um, life. Yeah, but I'm not into all that like racism shit either. So like quite honestly and bluntly, the Nazis seem cooler than the Zionists, because I don't think Hitler was trying to exterminate the Jews, but the Zionists made it seem like that, and he was just trying to like relocate them somewhere. So like we could figure that out. There's like the tip of Florida, or maybe you don't want to play with the tip and everything, and just give them a tease, right? So you give them the center part where all the old people are at, but you gotta let families kind of be families. We need to find a way to stop throwing bombs at each other and mating a little less. So then you don't have weird rich fucks trying to poison y'all. Like they're doing this master race shit. I'm not down with that master race bullshit. All right, I'm just not. That's probably something that an evil alien put y'all up to. Um, and you know y'all like God's creatures in the eyes of God. So just but they have to go around and poison people, and they do it in this NGO. Oh, we're trying to help you. We're trying to help you. And in horrible ways, and getting people to eat like less nutritional foods. And getting just a little cut here, a little cut there. It's exactly what happened in my story, where they had all these people doing that shit. One family in particular was like doing a bunch of evil things with me, but for the most part, there was like a cut here, a cut there, a cut there. Death by a thousand cuts. It's an angel taking out a demon, or the opposite. You know. Um, so I'm not into that master race bullshit, because there's a bunch of white people that need to like poison people and hit them with EMFs constantly, and removing lead from the paints and everything, and just that you have to make yourselves great. The fucking IOF going around blowing off limbs off of athletes, particular Palestinians, but they do it in other countries too, like Lebanon and all their stupid bullshit. They're trying to take over the area so they could kill you all straight up, and they'll betray everyone at some point. But if they need you now, then I guess you're okay. And there are some people that are like, "That's my life. I'm doing that. I'm going to. Their kids are going to totally murder the shit out of my kids, but whatever. Let the chips fall when they may." Type bullshit. Oh, it's such an evolved fucking species, huh? The white people, fucking little sellout. Not all of them, a lot of them. I ain't into that white supremacy bullshit. Every race could be great, especially if you don't like suppress them. Yeah, and they have to like they do their little genetic enhancing and everything, and the opposite of the mRNA vaccines, where they actually like enhance someone, like in the Born Legacy movie. Uh, so yeah, they have ways of like doing that, and then then they're going to be like the master race bullshit. I'm not into that all that shit. And we need to find a place for the Zionists to like be themselves. I heard that the actual Jew like is just like a roamer, and they like roam around and they don't have a homeland. And there's many good Jewish people out there, but I get like they're trying to install a Jew in my life this past year, and she's the most like annoying to me, and I'm trying to help her out and move her along and everything. And then there's like other members of the community that's like, put these blindfolds on and get in the trunk, and we'll fucking get rid of you because I want her gone. So they're like trying to help me out. You know, I'm not trying to get it like that extreme. I think, I hope the community can help her with a voucher. And I would help her fill out the paperwork and all that shit, so I could just move her along. But she's a little Zionist infiltrator, and I already could tell, and she's just very Zionisty, and I don't like that, and I sniff that shit out. And they say love is unconditional, but like, I have one condition, all right, one motherfucking condition, and it is, you just can't be a Zionist. You can't be pretending to not be a Zionist, and you can't be mind controlled or programmed by Zionists. And like, if you have been programmed, then I will accept a deprogrammed one. You know, because we all get hit with their shit, you know, as children, because they have this shit everywhere in every school. Like, y'all been getting experimented on for fucking centuries. Well, a lot longer than centuries. But no, they do that. They'll make an accident, you know, like in East Palestine. They'll make an accident, you know, happen. We're just transporting chemicals. What's with you? Just like they do with the natives, you know, and they're building fucking pipelines through these areas that they don't need to be built that way. And there's no, like, why don't you build a half pipe, you know, or a V-shaped, and even easier, like a V-shaped fucking concrete thing underneath these pipes, so so when they leak, they don't fucking create a spill. And it's like, oh, you're building it through the natives' water, so you could fucking use your direct energy weapons on the fucking thing and sabotage it. You sabotage your own pipe, and then you're going to poison the natives like that. But you can't say that, right? Because that's how they operate. That's exactly how they will not ever admit it to the grave, you know. And when my greater self is greeting them to the doors of fucking hell, you know. Probably some of the higher tier ones I'm talking about there. That's why Trump is like, yeah, I'm probably not going to heaven, guys. In a fucking Christian nation, and I'm the fucking, like, somehow evil and shit, right? You know what I'm like? I am kind of like Putin, or like, you know, I think Hitler got fucking jerked around by Zionists because he was married to a Jew. And that's what I was saying, like, earlier, like, I can't tell. So I just steer clear of Jews. And I'm trying to move this Jew along, although she's totally Zionist, pretending not to be and doing a bad job of it, you know. Or she's just totally programmed, and I just, you know, and anyway, thank you, community, for wanting to do things. I'm not giving orders or anything, like, I haven't given orders, but that happened, and it's just a story I'm telling, and I'm trying to move her along in a nicer way, so hopefully we could do that, community. Hopefully she wins that fucking thing, you know, and then move her ass along, because I don't want to hang out with her, and she's very draining to me, and you know, damn. You know, imagine if we slept next to each other. I'd be like so fucking drained. It'd be like worse than getting the COVID shot and everything. So the colloidal silver does seem to be helping, because I do seem to be getting some of my energy back. Although it's only been a couple weeks, maybe 3 at this point. So yeah, that would say it is the CPAP machine, but I saw results right away with the CPAP machine when I had it like 5 years ago. And I would have like dozens of fucking events a fucking hour, and now it's like less than one an hour, you know. And so if I could just maintain the sleep, which some folks helped out with some good advice, thank you. So if I could just do that, I think that's been helping. But I mean, really, like lately, I've only had energy kind of like the past few days. Maybe it's, you know, the sun has returned to normal, because they're always spewing shit in the atmosphere. Maybe that's why. But it's just the past few days I've kind of gotten my energy back. You know, it could be the 3-eye atlas too, helping, you know, some backup. So yeah. You're not going to find all the bioweapons, you lizard people. You're going around getting people to find the bioweapons that got fucking shot at Earth and everything. Yeah, I'm going to laugh at that shit. Yeah. You're not going to find all the, you know. And anyway, so that'll be fun when they do their thing. Anyway, so I'm just steering clear of Jews, and I'm not into this racist bullshit. yeah, I find white people, like white females, more, sexually appealing because I was raised around a bunch of white people. I find women attractive, all races and everything. Um, but there's also, like, if your body is ruined and everything, and yeah, no fault of your own and everything. They're like, eat this food and it's okay and blah blah blah, and focus on this and take all these fucking RXs that are making you fucking overweight and fuck with your head. You know. So um so anyway, I'm not into all that racist shit. All right. I know my grandfather. Fucking call people names when they would that weren't his color, as they were walking past his front yard and shit. And then they're like, the kids are throwing rocks at my car. And it's like, well, fuck, stop calling them names, yo. I was too young. I was just kind of like witnessing everything, and then I kind of like looked back on my early life, and it like was like I was in a cocoon, and yeah, like on this weird autopilot, and that's how they can make the MK Ultras and mind controls and Project Monarchs. But it's helpful to be self-aware, But they're also trying to hijack me, so it also doesn't mean that I just put them through the normal system that we put everyone else through, type thing. So I'm not into all that racist bullshit, or this, like, even a one world government. It sounds nice, like in Star Trek and everything, and yeah, there could be a good version too. But they're pushing for the bad version. I don't know if you noticed, all your fucking leaders are traitors, and they're only serving Zionists because they take fucking secret, fucking vows to them, and secret vows of silence. Because if you guys knew, then game over for them. Or if enough people knew. So, they keep people, they're like, look at this stupid thing over here, and look at that stupid thing over there. Don't you guys care about the fucking football game? And it's like, dude, they're like already looted your treasuries and shit. They're doing to Rome what they've done to many nations, and they're just using your military to cause as much terror, fucking poison the population through the food and all the products. Teach the people to attack their deities, that when they come in human form, or their star seeds, or indigo children, or whatever, the fuck, that aren't on their side, right? You got to find the ones that are, that are manipulated. But that's like one, yeah. That's one thing, like, with the whole love is not conditional stuff. It's one condition: you can't be Zionist, pretending not to be Zionist, mind controlled or programmed by Zionists. All right, or in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form, any of those. That's my one condition. And if I can't have that, then I'd rather be alone and touch myself. All right, straight up, straight up. So, I don't like staring at the camera. I just like kind of look at myself and shit, to almost not tell. Anyway, I don't like staring at this shit. I like looking out at the trees and everything. There's all these trees, and now a squirrel just jumped on my balcony. So yeah, I'm not into all that racist shit. You can make a bunch of people stupid and mind controlled, and good for you. What, put fucking direct energy weapons on their fucking roofs? I drove past this neighborhood, and it was a predominantly black neighborhood, and they fucking had these fucking cell towers on the fucking roof, and I'm like, man, just like not even a couple feet away, there's like a window right there of an apartment. Like, and that shit must be like blasting them, like really, like a whole lot. And I wonder, what it goes on generally in those apartments, like how it turns out. Do they turn out like going to jail and just hooking up with the wrong people and everything? And could it be those cell towers that are just a couple feet away from them? And could that be a lot in that fucking building? Like they're literally attacking people. And you could help out. Like if you have like a little bit of money, you could probably, get that EMF paint and offer to paint their ceilings or walls with it. It's like $200 for like 5 gallons, or about 200. But yeah, you can help people out like that too. So it seemed, yeah, because if the community just got together and like, here, everybody chip in $5 because we need to get, you need to get a couple gallon or a couple of these 5 gallon, jugs. That would be really beneficial. I think if there's a lot of shenanigans going in the building, but they're like, oh, this neighbor sucks and that neighbor sucks, and I don't know what their problem is because this other person lives a little further away. They're not being affected, right? But someone, at the top floor, where these towers are, is being affected, and in a negative way, very likely. And yeah. So they do that shit to try to be like, look, we're like the greater race and everything type bullshit, and it's like, it's just nonsense. It's a bunch of fakery. It's a bunch of fake shit, and don't they're going to end up in hell anyway. So don't y'all worry about that shit, you know. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's why Trump's like, yeah, fucking, I'm probably not going to heaven, guys. It's like, you know what, you might be onto something there with Mr. Trump. You definitely might be onto something with that one. But just so you could be the momentary fucking jerk off, violent, the worst of your fucking species, the worst of God, you could say, because you're all like connected. So yeah, you're like the worst in every aspect is what you evolved. It is the evolution. So yeah. And they have everyone scripted out. So if you just keep following your scripts and everything, you're like, well, I got to pay the bills, da 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 da. So I'm definitely going to build these secret tunnels and everything for this super secret project, and they're probably going to secretly murder me afterwards. But look, the money's good. I probably don't even think about that. They said trust us, yo, and I'm like, okay, and yeah. And they probably kill a lot of the construction workers when they fucking, maybe even architects, that happened to my father. He was an architect, so, maybe my father did some secret stuff, right? And, had to go, right? Because that's how they keep secrets. So they're like the best at like murdering, best at gaslighting. It's all very narcissistic. Like all the worst of the worst of the narcissists that are like ruining it for the other narcissists and shit. They're like, yeah, we just want to like destroy the surface and reset. We're going to hide like little bitches in our fucking bunkers. It's like, man, they probably even got, because I'm a 13 and a half, right? So I rank above all of them. They probably got a space for me in Denver here. But like, if I'm going to be hanging out with Hillary Clinton and Bill Gates, like what? You're going to give me like some advanced body armor and shit, and a super shotgun and unlimited ammo, like spread it out throughout the facility and shit. Like, is that what that sounds fun actually? Otherwise, I'd rather stay here, I guess, on the surface with the people that I actually come here to service. But the people seem to fall on deaf ears, but no fault of their own. They can seem stupid, but that's just more like the manufacturing of the fighting amongst the people, because it's at no fault of their own. They eat a bunch of poison foods and poison water and poison EMFs and poison this and poison that, and then they're a bunch of fucking, they can't see straight, and that's understandable, but if not enough people like wake up to all this shit and the shenanigans like that's going on, the world problems, and the bigger picture of it. If you're just looking at the small little picture of it, then you're just setting it up to be like evil and shitty. But I don't want things to be evil and shitty. I want things to be nice and you guys to be making honey again. And you can't ever get rid of evil, but we could give them a spot where they could kind of tone things down too. and have their little shenanigans that, that they already do anyway, but they could just be open about it. And we could let their families do what they want to do and let our other families do what they want to do. And sure, there'll be like incidences where alien, plucks you from here and there, or an experiment gone wrong, or an experiment gone right, that gobbles up a human or some shit. That shit does happen around here from time to time, but it doesn't need to be so like everyone's throwing bombs and shit worse than bombs, fucking around. All right, it's a little much, but they're doing it because they want to be like the masters of the world, and I don't think so. There's other people have a say, and their little, yeah, I know. With the celebrities, I know. With the politicians, oh my god, like, oh, that sounds like a nightmare going down into fucking all those cities and everything. I'm going to be hanging out with those people, like, shit. Like I said, like, you got some advanced body armor so I could take some hits and everything, and a super shotgun with unlimited ammo, just spread it throughout the facility, I'll find it. Put like a little locator, on my advanced body armor so I could, the heads-up display. Where's this ammo at? Come on. I need the ammo. Make it like a video game, all right? Sounds great. Give me some cool shit, I know, right? Sounds nice. Sounds lovely. But other than that, I'd rather stay up here, because I'm just not going to, I'm not going to jive well with that crowd. So, unless there's another, like, place where hey, if they're not, like, if the Gates and Hillary aren't allowed area, fake-ass celebrities, I just want some real-ass people, but, I don't know, not living without sun for a while, although the sun has been fucking, white, for fucking jerk-off reason, Bill Gates reasons, probably, it's been nice lately since the government shut down, and I guess I do appreciate it, but I'm not like, you've been poisoning me for fucking decades and everything, and then there's like a little break in it, and it's like, yeah, maybe they are fucking scared of those little bioweapons that 3-eye Atlas like shot and everything, into Earth, I don't think they're meant to fucking harm humans. So that one guy didn't get sick or anything, right? He handled that one and he brought it over to some watery area before the Men in Black, like, it's like, where's this at? So, I'm not gonna find them all. And that would be fun. I wonder what weird effects it will have. We'll see. See, maybe they just, be like V. And they just start peeling the skin off and this lizard underneath and shit. And it's like, yep. Knew it. Yeah, they do possess people. They not only do that, but they do stuff like in the movie Society where they, like, they could put themselves in another human being or take their shape. Like, some really weird shit that you're taught is just in the movies and it's all fictional. And anyone ever saying that is crazy. Even though a lot of the Epstein victims said that shit and said that about Epstein. And that dude is so fucking alive still, but they just like killed the clone of his. That's why he conveniently ended up in Israel's hell right before he went to fucking prison. Because the guy, they fucking switched the clone out and everything, right? Look, this is the real one. Look over here. Masters of Deception. And they're the ones with all this shit, deceiving everyone. And then acting like the false idols and fake kings that they actually are. Elon going around jerking people off, about space and about the alien space treaties and all that shit that people don't know about. And, it's just fictional and everything. And he's meant to jerk you off, and it's meant to fail, and it's meant to fail, and it's meant to just give him, a very offensive amounts of money for jerking you all off. And he probably, does way, I don't know. They do their weird sexual shit, and they do it to me when I was a child and everything. I didn't even know about it. until recently. So, and it was very sneaky. They did a lot of roofies. But then I also had the trauma response to the amnesia trauma response, like instant amnesia, and they enjoy that as well. So yeah, life could be really weird sometimes because how would you fare like if they did to Charlie Kirk to you? What I think they did to Charlie Kirk to you, which is I think they kidnapped him, gave him amnesia, and then woke him up as his new life. Whether he was, honey, get ready for work, and he's just waking up, or he's like, just coming to at the hospital or something. It's like, oh, are you okay? And have a bunch of fake pictures of here's our children and everything, and then how well would you do? You'd wake up and be like, oh, okay, I need to be with my family. Oh, I just had a surgery. Right? And keep them away from the TV. So then you put them in those underground cities, right? And so that makes sense. Because then they're like, look, we're not totally like murderous, all right, to our people because they don't want to totally turn people off, right? They're like, look, Charlie's still alive, but he's over here and we gave him a new life, and blah blah blah, and he still has a hot wife or whatever, but because the Zionists, yeah, you gotta watch out for the pretty faces. I got a little security thing going on, in the people's house here, the people's mansion. But they did install someone just very close to me, and she looks like someone. They do that look-alike thing, and I don't like that because it feels like manipulation. It feels like fucking manipulation. And that is a form of manipulation. Like, what if like someone gets a look-alike or clone of someone that you knew and loved, like, and your previous ex. Maybe it was someone that you like really did love, and nothing. You guys didn't fight or anything to end the relationship, but like someone died or something. It was like car accident or something. One of their poisons, got them killed. They died of this. Like cancer is a common thing that they create with all the poisons. And yeah, they just kind of treat you like shit, and they tell you to like breed like rabbits and everything. Then there's too many of you. We used you all to kind of like get all this technology and everything, and we all like secretly storing it and collecting it and controlling it and owning it, and now y'all gotta go. And it's like, what the fuck are you fucking fuck? And yeah, so I'm just here to let people know because I'm part of disclosure as well. So there. Nah. Anyway, peace the fuck out, I guess.